Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 958, our solve count. I have hidden the check progress button again. I was feeling like I was relying on it a little too heavily. But we'll get there through the rest of what we're going on. Size separation, 9 puzzles to do. Let's do some of that today. Why not? There's a 6 there, there's a 6 there, there's a 6 there. What are you doing hiding in the trees? A 5... You over there. A 4. We could do a 4. Neighbouring regions must have different areas. Area number shows the area. So that's just that. These, excuse you. Do that. That's that. Excuse you. Okay. Where can we begin here? Neighbouring regions must have different areas. Well, there's none here that kind of share a one space border that would fall. Okay, no, there is. I was just looking for these, but this is 2 and 2, so neither of these can go upwards. Therefore, they must both go to the side. Right? That's just a fact. This one can't have a 1 next to it, so this can't be a 1. It has to go out. This can't be a 1, has to go out. Can't take that 2, so that 2's got to go over. That's got to go out to there. That's the 2. That could be the 6, but it doesn't have to be, I think. There's a couple of 4s here that are in fairly close proximity to each other. That 4 has to get out. It has to, I think, link up with this 4. Because if it does that, this 4 would have to get out in either direction. So it's going to be... Excuse you. It's going to be one of those ambiguously. What else do we have? This can't be a 2, so it has to be at least a 3. If that goes to 4 down there, this 5 can't get out. So I think that's just going to take that as the 4th. Yeah. So that's a 4. That could be a 2 on its own. It doesn't have to have a single symbol in every single piece. This 3 can't do this to touch next to that 3. So that's going to have to go that way. That's going to go that way. That breaks this ambiguity. This 3, at best, could do that, which means this would have to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that can't take 2s. So I think that is going to be the 6. And that can't be the 3. So that might be the 3, but it could be that as well. Except that can't be the 3 because that 2 has to get out. And then that would touch those 3s together. So that with a 1. That could be a 2 with that going that way, or could be a 2 with it going the other way. So that's ambiguous right now. Anything else that we know? Probably. Are these 6s going to touch? My gut says yes. Because if this is 2 and this is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this 3 can't get out. I mean, it can. But then this 3 can't get out past that. So the 6s are going to touch. It's just about how are they going to touch together. Uncertain right now. And then there's the matter of all the 4s and whether they're going to touch. Because I'm looking at something like this. Okay, well that means this 3 means there's not enough room for that 5. So I think... Where is the room? This has to get out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. Can't share with that 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Alright, we get there with some vibing at the end, but it was mostly vibing based in logic that I wasn't verbalizing, I think. There's a 7 down there. Jeez, okay. What about... any we're missing? 8. About 3 there that I haven't done? It is. Size separation polyominoes. So these can't go up, so those must exist. These have to be part of the same T. That is just going to do that and be straight there. That 4's got to get out either this way or this way. That comes out that way. That has to do that. 2. Neighboring regions must have different areas. So we can't do 2 and have 2 there. So that's going to come down that way, I believe. That's 2. That has to be there. That's 2. 1, 1. That can't go that way, so that has to be at least 3 for that to be 2. It's fine, right? Yeah, it's fine. That is absolutely dandy. 7 more. What am I missing over here? There's a 5 next to that. 5, 6, 6, 7. And a 4 back here. Size separation area number 19, 15, 15. Interesting. That's very interesting. So 15. There's 2 of these cells need to not be coloured in. 6 of these cells and 2 of these cells. So that's all obvious because none of those share borders. So it's how do we fill out the rest without the 13s touching? (13, 13, 12). 13, 13, 13, and I hope... Oh, they touched there! This is going to get real ugly, isn't it? 13, 12... Oh, God. Okay. Recolor this in with the ones that don't have borders. Like, that's got to be our biggest foundation. It's just knowing what do we do with that. 9, 8, 12. So you've got the most degrees of freedom. You can take any one tile. This is an area of 15. We need 4 and 2 blank. We did that. That's 12. That's 13. That's 13. 10, 11, 12. God. Maybe what we should be thinking about then is something like these, where if we can spare one of them being neighbors to each other, we can spare others being neighbors to each other at the same time. $13, $13. It can't be this, though, because we can't have the two ones touching. I love it when the game comes up with a puzzle that, like, follows all of its own rules, but feels like an entirely different type of puzzle. You know? I can take that one. This needing one of these tiles feels like the crux of the matter. But also, is it it must be true that these are at least 12. Because there'd be no reason to do this and leave that one unaccounted for, right? Apart from maybe to make this not be a 1, I guess. So that could be a thing. 13, 13, 8, 9, 10, 11. God. $13, $12, $13. There's two ones next to each other. That's two ones next to each other. So that can't be like that. 13, 13, 11. But this is two ones next to each other, so that can't be like that. Oh, man. $13, $13, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 11, 12. I don't know where to put the 13th one. Oh, wait. This tile's not being used for anything. 13 there. I've got a whole section here that I'm not using. I'd have to pick up something from up here. That's all 13s, but this is two 1s next to each other. Otherwise, it works. So what else do we know? This is going to have two gaps. This is going to have two gaps. Let me just reset here a second. This is going to have two gaps. This is going to have two gaps. But they have 1, 2, 3, 4 borders between them. Does that mean that the two gaps have to be there and there respectively for these two colours? So something like this. Except these now touch as 1s, which we can't have. That's 13. That's 13. That's 12. Except I can do that and that. No, because this is all a bunch of ones now. I can't have a bunch of ones around here. God. This is rude. I guess the other thing is we need, this is 13 of 15. This is 13 of 15. This is 13 of 19, right? So that equals 2 empties. This is 2 empties, and this is 6 empties. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 borders for 10 empties. Now, we can kind of pseudo-eliminate that triple in the middle, which feels like it needs to be empty. And then it's where do we go from there? I think. $10, $11. Because 15 of 13 with 2 empties means we can't do this because we can't not take one of those. So we can't fill those 2 at the side. 1, 2, 1, 2. One, 2, 1, 3. There's just no way we can fill this out. I don't know where else I can find some logic to get me down the path here. Like, getting the 2 more restricted sides done first feels like the sensible thing to do. Like, if we start with these fully coloured in, and then we have to remove 2 from each and make it valid. Right? I don't know why this wall is pulsating. I guess it's because they're touching for size separation. So it would have to be something like 1, 2, 3. And then 1 else from somewhere. But I can't leave 2 1s next to each other. Oh, now I've got 3 1s next to each other. These 1s neighbouring are the real problem here. I don't know what to do about it. Two empties, 2 empties. Like, there's no reason to have 2 empties touching on both sides. We only need one empty on the sides. Let's think about that real fast. So that's 13, 13, 13, but we have 2 1s touching there and there. That's 14, 13, 13. That leaves 2 1s. I can't see the move. I can't see the move. That is a brutal little tiny thing. Size separation, range 3 to 5, area number. This feels like it should be more my speed. We just have to figure out how we're getting into this puzzle. Well, that 4 has to do that. Then these 3s have to be part of the same area. Because of size separation, we can't do something like that. That is not allowed. So these are together. That can't do that. And it can't do that, so it has to do that. Put a box around it. This then can't go here or here, so it must go there. Could go there, could go there. Don't know which yet. That can't go there. So this is ambiguous on those. This is ambiguous on those. We can't have any 2s. So actually this has to get out to there, which means that is not ambiguous anymore. Could touch that 4, doesn't have to. These 4s have to be in the same region. That's a fact. These 5s have to be in the same region. Because if this takes 4 and that takes 5, we end up with another 5 there. So I think that has to do that, and that has to pick up the 1 because we can't have 1 on its own. I should have counted at the top. I mean, no, we've got a bunch of 4s and 3s and 5s that are sharing regions, but if we had have counted the area and counted the total, we could have had a rough idea of how many individuals might have existed. I'm now mostly wondering about how we would get these 5s to touch or not touch in a way that is legal. Hold it. Not a bad one. 39 of 45. That's the 7. That's a 6. That's a 6. That's a 6. That was the other 5. Did I miss another one? Yes, that's a chunky one, isn't it? Size separation, area number. Alright, well this 8 must pick up with these 8s because there's not enough room to have that 8 exist on its own. That could be a 1. That would be allowed. These 3s have to be together. These 5s have to be together. These 7s have to be together. This 2 can't do that and leave the 5 blocked in, so that 2 has to go to there. And this 5 just picks that up. 6 has to get out to there. 4 has to get out and join that. That has to get out and join that. That has to get out and join those 2. That's 6 of 7. We need +1 in this region. That 6 has to come across. That 6 doesn't now have enough room to exist independent. So that's going to go there. This could do this, but I would wager it probably does that, but we won't colour it in until we are more sure. This 2 could do this, could do that. Uncertain. What else do we know? There's a good little run there, but now we're out. Well, this 8, even if it took all of this, that would be 5, 6, 7, 8 at a minimum. So those must exist, which means that 4 has to come out to there. 7's going to pick up one of these still. What else do we know? That's a great question. I imagine a lot of these 6s and 5s, well, that could exist that way, but it feels really ugly. I imagine we are going to join this 5, but again, not going to colour it in until we are more sure. But what else do we have for certain here? Okay, well, this 7. We can do the same thing we did with the 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 must exist. This is ambiguous, but that 7 must be there. The 8 can't come out any further than this, but we don't know how much of this is the 8 or not. Well, if that's the 8, and that's capped at that, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we need at least 2 more of those. But this is guaranteed now. And that's 5. We need +3 on there. And it could be those, but that could also do that, and similar, you know? So what after that? It's a great question. That could end up doing that, but again, forever uncertain. Big stretch. That's kept there. So this is going either that way or that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it could go that way as well. That could go that way. No. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 3 more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it needs 3. So that means these 2 4s can't ever touch. So they must be coming down. Because this is 5 of 8 needing 3. If it does this, then these have to come down anyway. If it does this, they have to come down. If they do this, they have to come down at least a bit. So those are coming down. There's still ambiguity in the 3s, but they do have to come down. This one has to come to at least here, because it can't take 2 of the 3 that the 8 needs. Which means that has to come down to here. That has to come down. It could go 1 over. The 5 is at least that much. And then needs to pick up 1 more. Because, like, we could do that and that and that. Like, it's so ambiguous at the moment. But I think that 4 is forced. Because if it doesn't pick up the bottom one, it can't exist here and touch that one. Which means this, at most, this 7, if we go back to this needing +3, if it were this, at best, then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's ambiguous still, but it has to get to at least here. It might come out 1 further, but that means that has to get out. This has to get out. That's a 2. I suspect this 6 can't get out without touching both of these. I mean, it could do that hypothetically and not touch that one. But it has to get out. It doesn't feel clean and crisp though, does it? There's lots of thin threads to unpull here. Size separation doesn't feel like it's been a big part of our solution so far, which is scary. We've mostly been using area number with size separation just to kind of define that this can't be a 3 on this side and a 3 on that side, and so forth. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this 4 can't join that 4. If my logic so far means that this must exist to at least this, and this could take that, and that could take that. That would be 1, 2, 3, and then one of these. For 4. That means this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That can't be 6. That's 8. So I think this 8 has to get out to at least here, which means that has to touch to at least there. That's ambiguous with the 4. But the 8 has to come out at least this far. Might be further. How are we going to get all these 5s to comply to area number now? I don't know. It might end up being like this, which is valid but kind of gross looking. Except now, how does that 3 exist in a world where this 6 has to get out? I don't like that at all. Let's undo that and come back to here and try and find another way out. This is about where I would use check progress, but we're gonna muddle through here. You need 1 more. It's just how would I color this 5 without touching the other 5 if I don't have to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those can do that. But I need to make this 6 valid as a 6, and these all valid as 6s without 2 regions of 6 touching. That's the tricky part. What else do I know? There's got to be something else I can do. If this 5 touches this 5, there's no way that these can exist without blocking off this 2. Except maybe that. But then the 6s can't touch without blocking the 3 in. That's my big problem. That 5 can't exist. Well, yeah, because now this 4's blocked in. I don't know what I'm doing with this 8 in the corner. This 8 needs 3, this 6 needs... this 7 needs 1. That 5 can get that one. Alright, now I concede I'm just colouring to try and get an idea of what I could be doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This just breaks down so fast. Because this 7 can't pick up anything from any of this. This is about where I would reset the whole puzzle and go, all right, start from scratch and double check all my logic up to here. But a lot of you get really mad when I do that because there's one little thing that I'm not seeing. But right now, I don't see the thing I'm not seeing, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. There's not enough room for this 8. Here's the problem. I don't know. It was going so well up till here, and now I just don't see what the move is. Like, let's just... ignoring some of this, let's just look at this 8 again. This 8 is penned in by this line. So it could be that, but we know this 4 and this 5 don't have enough. If it's that, then the 5 gets 1, the 4 gets that, the 4s can't touch. The 8 is now 8 that way. And again, this is no good. I can't see what I can change. And I don't see a small change that I can make to fix what's going on. Which makes me worried that something somewhere up here is broken. And I don't know what to do about that. Like, that looks tidy because it stops this 2 from touching that 2 against the 7. This is 2 6s that touch, though. That's no good. We know that's no good. I'm going to do it. I know you hate it, but I really tried. So this 5 is confined to this, which means that 2 is confined to that. 6 has to get out through here. That 4 has to get across. The 6 has to get across again. These 7s have to touch. That 7 has to get out and touch those. That 7 has to get out and touch those. This is 6. It needs +1. This 4 is now touching, so it must inhale this 4. This 6, if it existed like this, has 6 but is touching that, which means they must join together. That's fine. These 3s touch, those 8s touch, these 5s touch. This 8 is confined by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at a minimum. Which means this 4 comes out to there and hits a dead end. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as 4 variable. That means that 7 has to come out to here. And then what? We decided that these 4s can't touch because that would only leave a 7 for this 8. Therefore, these 4s don't touch. And this 4 can't confine that 8 in. And it can't touch that 4. And it can't touch there, so that 4 must do that. That I'm fine with. Then the same story is true for this 5. If we do this, the 8 is confined to 5. So we have to take 1 out and add 1. That's 6. Take 1 out and add 1. That's 5. That's 6. Take 1 out and add 1. That confines the 4. Basically, all the ways that this goes ends up with those 5s touching is what we get to with that. So this is 4 plus 4 of these 5. It's 4. And then this is +1. This is +3 or 4. Right. If this needs at least 3 of these, at best, that must take at least this. And this needs +1. Here or here. And now we're roughly back to where we were a minute ago. So this logic feels sound enough, but I don't know what I'm doing down here with 5555 and 666 to make this work, especially with these 8s as well. Again, I don't feel like I'm using the size separation well enough. Like, I know that this 4 can't go to there. So it would result in that. With this 5, got some of that. The 8 has to get out. That means they end up touching, and we're back to this again. I'm so mad that I'm just in the same spot I got to and couldn't find the logic before. What else can I do? Seven needs 1. The 2 can go in most directions. How did my brain get there? Honestly, it was just letting this 6 exist. But I don't know how I vibed that out at the end. Maybe it's just because the first 4 times I tried colouring didn't work, and then this time it did. But, like, I don't know, and that's the bit that annoys me. But we got there. And that is plenty enough for today. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.